Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone to this new English language lesson on أونروا TV. I wish you all a good time as well as a maximum benefit. Well, I won't tell you what we will talk about. You have to find out by yourself by playing this game, which is find the words. Find the words. Look here. We have 5 words and we have a table. You have to find the 5 words in the table. After that, we will have some letters left. These letters will form some words, and these words will be the topic of our lesson for today. Now let's start with the first one. As. Can you find it in the table? Look closely here. Where is as? Excellent. It's here in the last row. What about even? Can you see it? Excellent, it's in the first row. Even, even. What about the third one? Soon. Where is it in the table? Can you see it? Amazing, it's in the second column. It's in the second column. What about the fourth one? Nor. Where is it? Great, it's here. Nor. What about the last one? Tell. Can you see it? Great, it's here. And what about the letters we have left here? Can you read the words? Excellent. We have when and we have while. When and while. And that's what we will talk about today. When and while. But before going deep discussing these 2 points, let me check your understanding by doing this activity. Past simple or past continuous? Past simple or past continuous? You will have to decide whether the sentences are in the past simple or in the past continuous. Now let's read the first one. 1. Ahmed ate pizza yesterday. Is it past simple or past continuous? Great, it's past simple. How did we know that? Well, we have the verb ate, the second form of the verb. What about this one? I was sleeping at 9 o'clock yesterday. Past simple or past continuous? Look at the sentence. Great, it's past continuous. Past continuous. Look here, we have was sleeping. Was plus the verb plus the ing. What about the third one? We were walking to school at 7:30 a.m. We were walking. Is it past simple or past continuous? Great, it's past continuous. Past continuous. Why? Look here. We have were walking. Were plus the verb walk plus the ing. What about the last one? Sally played tennis last week. Past simple or past continuous? Good, it's past simple. Why? Look here. We have played. The verb played, the second form of the verb. Now, dear students, after we have done this activity, let's remember some of the points about the 2 tenses, the past simple and the past continuous. Let's start with the past simple. The first point, we use the past simple to talk about completed actions in the past. Again, we use the past simple to talk about completed actions in the past. The second form of the verb is either regular, ends with ed, or irregular, depends on memorization. So, the verb is either regular or irregular. Now, let's see an example. Look here, Shakespeare lived in England. He wrote 37 plays. Now, this is a completed action. Shakespeare lived in the past and now he's dead. Now, let's revise some of the points about the past continuous. The first one, we use the past continuous tense to talk about actions that were in progress at a certain time in the past. Again, we use the past continuous tense to talk about actions that were in progress at a certain time in the past. It's formed by was or were plus the verb plus the ing. The form of the past continuous is whether was or were plus the verb plus the ing. Now let's see this example. Look at the time, 10 o'clock yesterday, and we have a grandpa. If I asked you, what was grandpa doing at 10 o'clock yesterday? What was he doing? Grandpa was watching TV. At 10 o'clock, Grandpa was watching TV. Now, look at the timeline here. The action of watching TV started sometime before 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, it was in progress and wasn't finished yet, and it may have continued after 10 o'clock. But the most important thing is that at 10 o'clock, it was in progress. Now, after we have revised the past simple and the past continuous, let's read a text. It's about a girl called Sally. Now let's read. One day, my sister and I were shopping in a mall. While we were wandering here and there, we saw some friends. When we saw them, they were eating. We talked to them for a short time and then we left. While we were leaving the mall, an accident happened. A boy was riding a bike when a car hit him. Lots of cops rushed to investigate. They asked a girl, "What was the driver doing when the accident happened?" The girl said, "When it happened, he was talking the phone. I guess he didn't see the boy." Now, dear students, let's read it once again. One day, my sister and I were shopping in a mall. While we were wandering here and there, we saw some friends. When we saw them, they were eating. We talked to them for a short time and then we left. While we were leaving the mall, an accident happened. A boy was riding a bike when a car hit him. Lots of cops rushed to investigate. They asked a girl, "What was the driver doing when the accident happened?" The girl said, "When it happened, he was talking the phone. I guess he didn't see the boy." Now, dear students, after we have read the text twice, let's answer some questions. Answer the following questions. Answer the following questions. 1. What were Sally and her sister doing in the mall? What were they doing? Let's see here. My sister and I were shopping in a mall. We're shopping in a mall. So, the answer is they were shopping. What were Sally and her sister doing in the mall? They were shopping. The second one, what did they see while they were wandering in the mall? What did they see? Can you remember? Let's see together. While we were wandering here and there, we saw some friends. So, what did they see? Excellent. They saw some friends. They saw some friends. The third one, what were their friends doing? What were their friends doing? When they saw them, what were they doing? Can you tell me? Let's see. When we saw them, they were eating. They were eating. So the answer is good. They were eating. They were eating. The fourth one, what was the boy doing when the car hit him? What was he doing? Can you remember? Let's check together. A boy was riding a bike when a car hit him. So he was riding a bike when a car hit him. When the car hit him, he was riding a bike. Now let's see the last question. What was the driver doing when he hit the boy? What was the driver doing? Can you remember? Look here. When it happened, he was talking on the phone. The driver was talking on the phone. So the answer is he was talking on the phone when he hit him with the car. He was talking on the phone. Now, dear students, we have come to the end of our first part. We will have a short break, and after the break, we will discuss when and while in details. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now look at this example. We were shopping when we saw our friends. Now I have some questions for you. Look at this example. How many actions do we have here? Excellent, we have 2 actions. The first action, we were shopping, and the second one, we saw our friends. So we have 2 actions, one in the past continuous and one in the past simple. Now, the 2 actions are joined with what? What did we use to join the 2 actions? Excellent. We used when. Now look at when. When. Where is the position of when in the sentence? Excellent. It's in the middle of the sentence. So we have two actions joined by when. Now look at this example. When we saw our friends, they were eating. When we saw our friends, they were eating. Again, we have two actions. We saw our friends, past simple. They were eating, past continuous. And they are joined with when. Now, where is when here? Excellent. It's at the beginning of the sentence. So again, we have two actions joined with when. Now the last example, the driver was talking on the phone when the accident happened. Again, the driver was talking on the phone when the accident happened. So again, we have two actions joined with when, and when here is in the middle. So we can conclude when is a conjunction used to join two sentences. Again, when is a connector or a conjunction used to join two sentences. When comes at the beginning or in the middle of the sentence. Again, when comes at the beginning or in the middle of the sentence. Now let's see this conclusion. When is used to join two actions. One was going on at a certain time in the past, which is the past continuous, and was interrupted by another action, which is the past simple. Again, when is used to join two actions. One action was going on at a certain time in the past continuous, and was interrupted by another action, which is the past simple. Now, dear students, let's have a look at the timeline here. Here we have two arrows. The red arrow represents the past continuous, which is the long action here. And we have the blue arrow, which represents the past simple, which is the short action, the action that interrupted the long action. Now look here, we have the past continuous, which was interrupted by the short action, which is the past simple. Now did you get that point? Now let's see some other examples. Look here, I was reading when the telephone rang. I was reading when the telephone rang. How many actions do we have here? We have two actions. One, I was reading, the past continuous, the long action, and the second one, the telephone rang, the short action, the action that interrupted the long one. So, I started reading and then the telephone rang, and they are joined by when. Now look here, we can say in another way, instead of the middle, we can say, when the telephone rang, I was reading. Again, we have two actions, past simple, the short action, which interrupted the long action, which is the past continuous, I was reading. But dear students, you have to pay attention here. When we use when at the beginning of the sentence, you have to use the comma in the middle. Don't forget that. So, look at the two sentences again. When the telephone rang, I was reading. And here we must use the comma because we started with when. And the second, we don't use the comma. Why? Because when is in the middle. So, I was reading when the telephone rang. Now, let's move to another example. When it rained, we were playing football. When it rained, we were playing football. Again, we have used the comma because we started with when. But the second sentence, there is no need for a comma. Why? Because when is in the middle. So, we were playing football when it rained. We were playing football when it rained. Now, dear students, let's move to talk about while. Look at this example here. We saw some friends while we were shopping. Again, we saw some friends while we were shopping. Now, how many actions do we have here? Good, we have two actions. We saw some friends and we were shopping. Now, dear students, the question is, which action started first? Seeing friends or shopping in the mall? Excellent, shopping in the mall started first and then was interrupted by seeing friends. So, first we were shopping and then we saw some friends. Now look at the two actions. They are joined by using what? What did we use to join the two actions? Excellent, we used while. And while here is in the middle of the sentence. Now look at this example. While we were leaving, an accident happened. And notice here, dear students, once more we have two actions. We were leaving, which happened before the accident, But the question is, where is while? Is it in the middle or at the beginning? Excellent, it's at the beginning of the sentence. Now the last example, while the driver was talking on the phone, an accident happened. Again, while the driver was talking on the phone, an accident happened, and here we use while at the beginning of the sentence. So, what can you tell me about while? Good. While is a conjunction used to join two sentences. While is a connector, a conjunction used to join two sentences. While comes at the beginning or in the middle of the sentence. So we can use while at the beginning or in the middle. And notice here, while is used with the long progressive action, which is the past continuous tense. So while is always followed by the past continuous tense. Now, did you get that? Let's see some examples. Before, we have read this sentence like this. When the telephone rang, I was reading. We said we can join the sentences using when, past simple and past continuous. These are the two actions. Now, we can express the same sentence using while. Look here. While I was reading, the telephone rang. While I was reading, the telephone rang. Here we have the past continuous tense, the progressive action after while, and here we have the action which interrupted the long action, which is the past simple, the telephone rang. So, while I was reading, the telephone rang. Now, let's see this. While I was reading, the telephone rang. Notice here we have two actions, the progressive one, the past continuous, and the short one, the past simple. And we used while at the beginning of the sentence. That's why we have to use the comma in the middle of the sentence. Between the two sentences, we have to use the comma. Again, when we use while at the beginning, you have to use the comma. But if we have while in the middle, there's no need for comma. So we say, the telephone rang while I was reading. Again, the telephone rang while I was reading. And notice here, while is followed by the past continuous tense, and here it's followed by the past continuous tense. Now let's see this example. While I was watching TV, my dad came. While I was watching TV, my dad came. We use the comma here because we used while at the beginning. And look here, the past continuous comes after while. Look at the same sentence. My dad came while I was watching TV. Again, my dad came while I was watching TV. Let's look at this example. While I was playing games, the power went off. While I was playing games, the power went off. Two actions joined with while. While is at the beginning of the sentence. That's why we use the comma here. And notice, after while, we have I was playing, the past continuous tense, the long action. And the same sentence, the power went off while I was playing games. The power went off while I was playing games. Now, dear students, after we have discussed when and while, we will have another short break. And after the break, we will have some activities. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now, after we have discussed when and while, let's practice some activities. This is a practice time. Complete the sentences. The first activity will be about completing sentences. Complete the sentences. 1. I was walking when my friend. Now, you have to use the correct form of the verb see, whether in the past simple or the past continuous. So, the correct form to use here is excellent. So, and the sentence, I was walking when I saw my friend. First, I was walking and then I saw my friend. Let's see the second one. While he saw some sharks. Now use the correct form of the verb dive. Is it dived or was diving? Since we have he here, what is the correct form to use? Great, it's was diving. Was diving. While he was diving, he saw some sharks. Again, while he was diving, he saw some sharks. And notice here, we have while, and while is followed by the past continuous tense, the long action. Now, dear students, let's move to another activity. Choose the correct answer. Choose the correct answer. 1. Ali did or was doing his homework when his father called him. Is it did or was doing? Great, it's was doing, the action that started first. So Ali was doing his homework when his father called him. This action interrupted the first action. Now let's see the second one. While or when Russia was watching TV, her aunt arrived. Is it while or when? And notice here we have the past continuous tense, the long action. So it must be excellent. It must be while. While Russia was watching TV, her aunt arrived. Now let's see the last one. Yesterday, while we were surfing the net, there a power cut. Is it was or were? Excellent, it's was, the past simple tense, the action that interrupted the long action. So yesterday, while we were surfing the net, there was a power cut. Now let's move to the last activity. Do as shown between brackets. Again, do as shown between brackets. The first one, we were having a breakfast, Sarah came in. Use when. Now join the two sentences using when. Can you do this? Excellent. We were having a breakfast when Sarah came in. We were having a breakfast when Sarah came in. So we started having a breakfast and then Sarah came. She interrupted us. Now the second one, when Amir fell down, he was jumping. Use while. And notice here, while is followed by the past continuous, the long action. So the answer is great. Amir fell down while he was jumping. Again, Amir fell down while he was jumping. Now, dear students, this is the end of our lesson for today. Today we have talked about when and while. Thank you for watching and see you next time.